Hi, it's Peter at Peter's Blooms. Today's November 1st, and we're going on a road trip from Miami up to Apopka for the Apopka International Orchid Show at Krull-Smith, and maybe the Orlando International Orchid Show at Orchids in Bloom. It's a nice day today and very cool weather, so let's go hit the road.
Here's the announcement for the festival. It actually ran on Friday, Halloween, through Sunday, November 2nd, and has vendors from all over the world, from the West Coast to the East Coast of the United States, and then Colombia, Taiwan, and South Africa. They also have AOS judging, and it's in conjunction with the International Phalaenopsis Alliance Symposium. And best of all, it's free and being held at Krull-Smith's Nursery. So we're making this trip from Miami up to Apopka in the Orlando area. It's about a 4 to 4.5 hour drive, and I'll try to show you some of the scenery along the way.
Well, we're heading north on the Florida Turnpike in western Miami-Dade County, and the sun is just coming up. This is the Dolphin Stadium, or what's now known as the Hard Rock Stadium. And here we have the Guitar, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Probably when we're coming back down, it'll be all lit up, so we'll have to see what it looks like then. This is one of our trash mountains, or Mount Trashmore. Some of the highest elevations in South Florida. Now we're crossing over the bridge over the St. Lucie River. Well, we made it about halfway, about 2 hours of driving. We decided to stop and get something to eat and charge the car. Well, we're all set up for charging. I guess it'll be 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll be on our way. It's time to get some Dunkin'. We made it to Apopka, and here's Krull-Smith. We did have to charge again, so I'm not quite used to road tripping in this car. I tend to drive a bit fast, so that uses more energy than the car predicts. But we're here. See their greenhouses all set up here. I think they're open, or at least some of them are open for this show. There's their main entrance. Yeah, you can see some people leaving the greenhouses. Then they have a food truck. So let's go park and enjoy the show. All right, so we got here, and here's a beautiful oak tree with a lot of Spanish moss. We really don't have Spanish moss that much done in Miami, so this is really nice. Weather is perfect. It's a cool day today, relatively. I think really the first cool spell in Florida so far this fall. All right, here's the Krull-Smith showroom. They opened this maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It really sets up how they can set out all of their plants really in a well-organized way. And this first table has most of their Cattleyas. You can see a beautiful Phalaenopsis mounted on a tree above it. And here we're starting out looking at this beautiful Cattleya. I love that purple speckled throat. It's really nice. A lot of flowers on each stem. And you can see that the other plants have a lot of buds that are ready to open. Then coming around, let's see a variety of other Cattleyas. Orange one is really beautiful. Has some flaring. There's the tag on that one. This lavender one, I really like the throat on that one. Has some dark red as well as orange with the lavender background. And then you can see in the back they have a variety of their aristocrat orchids. Here's one up front. And then we have this beautiful orchid. I really love that lip with all those speckles. And it really sets off against the copper petals. So the aristocrats, they re-derived these a couple years ago, and it's really been found to be one of the best light green orchids. So there's the rest of this table, and I'll go around and check it. So there's this giant Phalaenopsis they have mounted on the tree. And then coming around, you can see they have a variety of other types of plants, not just orchids in the back. On this side, they have their Phalaenopsis orchids, as well as some Dendrobiums. And then their sales booth And then on this other side, they have their Vandas. So I love this pink one. I don't actually see a tag for this, but it's got these pink speckles kind of on a, with some orange mixed in with the background. So that's really pretty. And then here's a couple more. This one has, looks like it has mini Palmer in it. And this rust colored one is really nice too. Very big flowers. Again, that pink one is super, super pretty. And then coming down here, this one, the white, kind of a grayish silver background with that purple lip. That's really nice. Fairly small flowers, but that's fine. I like the smaller flower ones too. And then over here, this is, it looks a little bit more like the mascara type, but also really beautiful. Light lavender petals and then that purple lip. And then this one we actually bought at Krull-Smith last summer in June. 2 plants in one, and it's been blooming since then. Essentially, one plant blooms and the other plant blooms. It has a great look and a great fragrance. So let's check out the other side where all the Vandas are hanging. Oh, this purple one looks fantastic. Actually doesn't have a lot of shine to the petal, which is pretty unusual, but that intense purple is really nice. And then more of this pink one. I don't see a tag on this one, so, but I really like it. And then they have more of these purple ones and the pink ones. And then coming around here, wow, this is really catching my eye. Wow, look at that Cattleya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look how erect look how erect the pseudobulbs are too. Everything is standing right up. And they have a number of other plants just like this that are in bud. So this is really nice. I think that's kind of a showstopper right there. Such a beautiful plant. And that with that dark red labellum. And then up here, kind of contrasting that, they have this really nice Rhinanthemum. Let me check the tag on that one. Usually they're red, so this kind of coral one is really pretty. Yeah, I really like that one, especially in combination with the Cattleya down below. Really sets it out. You can see there's more coming. Really healthy plant. And then some of the other ones they have also have spikes, so they're coming along. So here we are, have another beautiful purple pink Cattleya. I mean, that's one of their specialties is growing these up. This one is a really nice sized one. And then over here, there's a yellow one. We're actually looking for a yellow flower, so I don't know if my wife will get one this time. We have a lot of Cattleyas that were waiting to bloom, so I don't know if it'll fit. But maybe, we'll see. But that's really nice. I like those kind of sunset colors with the yellow, bright yellow, and orange or red. And then up here, a nice star-shaped Cattleya, nice pretty little lip. And then let's see what the tag on that one says. Okay, yes, a nice star. So continuing around on this table, here's one of the classic Cattleyas. I love that shape of that lip is just outstanding. And then the petals with the spots. I mean, there's a big push for developing these Cerulean spotted Cattleyas. And over here, oh, I like this one too. These dark reds are really beautiful. Kind of like brick red rust sort of colors. That's really nice. There's the tag on that one. That's so pretty. So there's a lot of choices, obviously. So moving around, we have another big flower. This is King of Taiwan. Nice purple pink background. with that lip with a bright orange. Super big flower. And then we have another yellow with the red rim lip. That's really nice. And then going on from there, again, I didn't see a tag for that one. Going on from there, let's see. Oh, wow. This is really something special. Pink with that lip that's sticking out. That's really nice, and it has some spots on it too. That's one of those hybrids that they're really working on developing now, all of these different variations with the spots. Here's the tag on that one. So Sunset Valley Orchids is developing this type, or has been developing these kind of line of spotted Cattleyas. Not huge flowers, but really nice. So let's see, try to get the tag back inside. And then we have another beautiful orange and red Cattleya with a nice, very full lip, I'd say. The red rimming along the edge. I'll try to check that tag. So a lot of these type of Cattleyas are coming out of Taiwan, where the breeders there are developing these red ones with very complex patterning.
So just a quick break from the editor's desk. While I was reviewing this video, I noticed I had a full frontal picture of this flower and really thought it looked just fantastic. The pink petals and sepals with those maroon freckles are just beautiful. It also seems to have some kind of orange or yellow flaring in the petals. And then that fuchsia lip with those little fuchsia tips on the wings surrounding the column really set this out. Overall, I think it's gorgeous. But I wanted to dig a little deeper into how this cross was made. So I checked online, and it was made at Sunset Valley Orchids and was listed in their catalog in 2021. As indicated earlier, it's a cross between SLC Angel Eyes, SVO AMAOS, and Cattleya Claudebec, Marty's Orchids 4N. And in the details of the cross, Fred Clark had pictures of the parents shown here and wrote, "I've recently come to realize how valuable Angel Eyes is as a parent. It reliably breeds desirable flat flared flowers and blooms several times a year. Claudebec, Marty's Orchids, is a meristem mutation and superior to other cultivars with hard substance, pink flowers, and amethyst pink spots. These will have pink flowers with amethyst pink spots on the sepals and pink lavender flaring on the petals, all surrounding a fuchsia lip. This is a very novel cross and well worth the investment." So the orchid bloom at Krull-Smith had some of these characteristics, but not others. I decided to check on what else was out there on this particular cross. And SVO did have a picture on its Facebook page from November 2024 showing this bloom, which is a bit more similar to the one they had predicted. And then just a couple months ago, they published this picture, also similar to what they had predicted, but both of these were quite different from the one at Krull-Smith. Then I saw this one from somebody posting on the Honolulu Orchid Society's forum, which, similar to the bloom at Krull-Smith, has more consistent coloring in the petals and sepals, although this one has red rather than pink. And then I saw this one from somebody's Flickr page, which is similar to the SVO images, but has some veins in the petals and sepals, but much less spots. So these results show the variation in the blooms of brothers and sisters from the same cross. Overall, I think Krull-Smith's bloom with its soft, inviting colors and vibrant lip is my clear favorite. What do you think? Let me know which one you like the best. Sorry for this brief interruption, but it was just something I had to show. So let's get back to the Krull-Smith Orchid Festival.
So going around the corner, on this particular table, there's one here, lustrous jade, which is not currently in flower. Then we have this very large two-flowered Cattleya. Pretty good sized blooms. Again, this is one of the hybrids out of Taiwan, but really pretty flowers. That very full lip and very full substance. Then we're back over here where we have this Rosavala hybrid. This one is the Hippodamia again. That's what we saw on the other side. But I think the lip looks a bit different than what we saw before. And then this is a classic species. This is really pretty. I love that red veining in the lip on that white background, white cream background of the flowers. They have several of those. And then this is the one that we've seen quite a bit of lately, Little Mermaid. It comes out this time of the year. Very pretty flower. Lip with a purple, pink, and white, and the speckling against this lavender petals and sepals. It's really nice. Very well-formed flower, too. And then they have a variety of other tropical plants, these pink lantern plants. They're very popular right now. And then, wow, look at this. This is really something else. This is actually named after Frank Smith's mother. That's a beautiful plant. All those flowers. And then coming around to this other table, we have another beautiful yellow and red Cattleya. The red edging around the lip. So quite a few different ones of those to choose from. I don't know if my wife will pick one of these up, but there are certainly very nice flowers. I don't know which one I would choose. Maybe one with a little bit oranger lip. I like the sunset pattern a little bit better than the really dark red. And here we have another, I think this is probably a primary hybrid. Really pretty flower with all those speckles. And then again, that large flared lip. That's really nice. And then next up, we have, this is one of their classic red Cattleyas. They have this in pretty much all the shows. I think they got awards for this being one of the best red Cattleyas available. It's the Heaven's Gate. And of course, it has an FCC award. So that's one of the ones that they always have on sale or always have available. That's a beautiful flower. And you can see they have plants that are in spikes, so these will certainly be available at the shows coming up. Quite a few of those all the time. And then we have something quite different here. This is a very small flower, but really pretty. Nice yellow flower. And here we have, let me get the tag on that one. And then we have a very nice flower. I really like that lip where it's got that kind of edging or hairs on that. So of course that has a Digbyana in it. And then here's another one with the purple flared lip and the brown speckled petals and sepals. So obviously there's a variety of that kind of form to choose from. And I think they primarily flower in the summer or in the fall. So you really have quite a variety of choices. Maybe get more than one different type, get a whole collection, and enjoy that kind of flower this time of the year. So there's a lot of things to add to your wish list for sure. Oh, and then we have this really fairly unusual type of Cattleya where the coloring and pattern that's in the lip is reflected in the petals. So this has this kind of plum edging around a yellow flare, and then the red tips that reflect the coloring of that lip. Fred Clark had a whole video on this type of orchid bloom and how he was developing these. And I think it's related to genes from Cattleya intermedia. Be sure to check that out. It's really pretty interesting. So coming around to the sales area, here's where they have their Phalaenopsis. And then you can see the other plants that they have in the background. So here's back looking out the other way, back towards the door. And this, again, this is a beautiful showroom, the way they have it set up. They actually had a hurricane through here last year around this time, but fortunately it didn't affect their showroom. And then here's some of the other plants they have. Quite a few of these popular aroid type of plants. This back part, they have more of the smaller miniature Cattleyas, and then this is some of the breeding programs that Fred Clark is doing. I don't know exactly how the two companies interact, but these are a number of the flowers that I think SVO hybridized over the years. I know the Sunset Valley Orchids start with some of Frank Smith's better hybrids as well. So here we have two really pretty ones, and then this is another yellow with the pink spots, and then the purple lip. That's really nice. There's the tag on that one. And I think you can buy these as seedlings and then bloom them out, and there's a lot of variety among what you would get. So that's also in the video that Fred Clark put out a couple years ago. There's a beautiful white Cattleya, like that, the star kind of shape again. Really pretty. That yellow throat. And so maybe my wife will pick up a yellow one of these. Let's see what she comes up with. Or maybe something completely different. But for sure, check out their website on all of these different crosses that both of the companies are putting out. I think there's somewhat of a different strategy in the companies where I know Fred Clark is doing these breedings all the time and really moves on to the next set of hybrids every year. And then I think Krull-Smith focuses on certain ones and then develops clones of those and then sells those. This is really pretty too. That combination of the pink and the white. And then we have this red one. Again, sunset kind of colors that I like. Tropical, like a tropical drink, I'd say. It's really nice. And you can see they have quite a few different plants you can pick up that are really blooming size. So now the yellow one, that's also pretty nice. This one has this stripe pattern, and then this red with the orange, pink, red lip. Let's see, that's also SVO hybrid. Just the names. And coming down, another pretty fuchsia one. Okay, so the name applies, Fuchsia Glow. It's really nice. And then they have a variety of other ones, not necessarily in bloom. And then they have, let's see, a Descend. So different kinds of aroid plants, obviously, too. And check out this up above. Wow. That's pretty nice. So they sell these other plants as well. And some of them are pricey, of course, because they're new. And then coming around this side, we have these orchids. This is their... these are not in bloom yet. These go dormant during the winter, and then will start blooming in the spring. They have Cymbidiums, and not yet blooming. And then we have these Rosavala type. This is Yellowbird. Quite a few of those with lots of flowers. I don't have that one yet. Maybe that would be the yellow one that we get. And then Oncidium Sherry Baby, of course, chocolate smelling Cymbidium, always very popular. They have quite a few of those with lots of blooms. And then let's see. So this is towards the back of their showroom. They have a variety of different types of plants. Some of them are mounted. And then the Bobophyllums, they have those as well. Here's another one of the, oh, this is the same as what we saw before. That's a very nice shaped flower for sure. And then something that certainly could be added to a collection very easily. I'm lusting after it. Here's another really pretty flower. They're kind of pinkish, dark pinkish red. And that's a chief berry, so it does look like a very delicious strawberry. And then, of course, this is the very beautiful Drosophila nodosa. And then this one, is this the same fuchsia that we saw earlier? Maybe different, but that's really pretty. That's gorgeous. Yes. So it is different than that other one, but also compact Cattleya. All right, so here's another one of those rust-colored ones, but this has that purple throat. I really like that combination too. And then moving along, let's see what else they got. Oh, this is really beautiful too. That rust, that might be one of my favorites, that combination. Again, kind of deep sunset sort of coloring. This is the tag. So I haven't really gone through all the pricing, but their pricing is reasonable for sure. And when you're at these shows, you can buy the ones that are in flower. Here's one that's a nice combination. And then we have another one of these with the big purple fuchsia lip and then the dark petals and sepals, the spots. So you could just set up a whole collection of this type of color format based on what they have, or select the one you like the best. But that one is really pretty striking too. I'd have to line all of these flowers up next to each other to decide which one to get. And then moving down, oh, this is pretty interesting. I think this is related to the pink hanging lantern, the same type of plant, but this one looks like a coral with those really pretty orange flowers. I wonder if it all opens up the way the pink lantern looks. That's an interesting plant for sure. I haven't really seen that as much as the pink ones. So now let's get into the Bobophyllums. Actually, I have a whole table that I've been bypassing, but this is another one of their specialties. And just check out this flower. Wow. That is something really unusual. Those long yellow flowers. And here are some of the other ones. Here's the species. Look at the number of blooms on those plants. Wow. They're so unusual. Actually, I don't have any Bobophyllums, but I don't know. Maybe get one at this show. Look at that one. Such long petals. It's super nice. That's very unusual, I'd say. And then they have the one for Nelson. Wow. Quite a few of those here, too. And then these are the more classic ones. Really nice flowers on these. Really healthy plants and lots of spikes. So for sure, if you're going to start a collection, this would be the place to start. Look at all of those flowers. Wow. And they're not smelling the greatest, to be honest, but that comes with them. That comes with this variety. There's another one of that species. Maybe a different cultivar that got a FCC. Super pretty. There's the tag. And so you can see there's a lot to choose from here. And I haven't even shown you some of the more crazy ones. Check out this one. I guess that's yellow. Maybe that's a candidate. The species. I think they selected that one especially for the size of the bloom. But they did a great job on that one. So big. And then we have more. These little, it's almost like a little pea pod hanging there, or bean pod. And then check out this giant one. So unusual. Wow. Again, the fragrance is not good, but you certainly have a spectacular plant. There's the tag. But again, they make these hybrids with some of the best parent plants they have available. Okay, we left the bulbophyllums behind, and now it's something completely different. All of these novelty phals. So just check this out. So pretty. That yellow with the pinkish purple middle. They have a variety that look like that, and then they have some of the blue ones as well. So look at the size of those leaves. Wow. These plants are so healthy. And so this show actually is associated with Phalaenopsis symposium. There's a really pretty one. And one of the vendors here, Mainshow, has plants that are part of a lot of these crosses as parents. So really nice, bluish Phalaenopsis. You can see the variety of the flowers too, even in the same cross. And then coming along, we have more of the blue ones. And so you can really choose which one you like based on the patterning as well as the color of the particular flowers, of course. This is really gorgeous. Those kind of concentric circles in the flowers. This one's just about to open, so let's see. And then this one looks like it's on the way out. So you can see that it's a much lighter color. I don't know if that's due to that particular plant or something that will happen as the flowers mature. This is another one, the cross between two different blue parents. It's really nice. Really pretty. So I'm sure a lot of the vendors have these as well. I think Mainshow is from Taiwan, and they're here with their setup. And then moving along, we have more. Oh, this is a species. That's really pretty. That's a beautiful flower. And many of these are fragrant and sequential bloomers. I wouldn't say they're the same. They're definitely not the same as the standard phals. You can see the very big, broad leaves. And moving over here, we have this beautiful red one. Wow, that is spectacular. Look how deep that red goes. So that's really nice. I like that one. Probably my favorite, of course. Here's the tag for that one. And so, again, a lot to choose from even on the novelty phals here. And there's quite a few talks on these plants at this show. Wasn't able to attend those, but you certainly could get a great education from attending these shows if you go to the talks. And today they had some more talks in the morning, and judging is going on probably right around now. So there's a lot going on. You can see all the other beautiful plants they have, and then more of the Phalaenopsis, the standard Phalaenopsis, which I really like. I mean, we always buy the standard phals to have in the house instead of the cut flowers. And here in Florida, it's very reasonable. You can keep them for 2 or 3 months and then move them outside. And just check out some of the other tropical plants they have. All right, so I headed over to this on the side of the showroom. They have some of their greenhouses. This is one of them. I think this is one where they have the younger plants. Again, they have a variety of these Phalaenopsis standard phals here, and then other types of plants as well, some bromeliads, and then the other more popular trendy plants, variegated plants. Some of these are not exactly cheap. These are in the hundreds per 2 or 3 leaves, but they are very popular. I really like this one. Super cool. Not exactly sure what that is. It's kind of like a difference on the snake plant. But you can see in the background they have their novelty phals really have thousands of plants coming along. Some of them are in bloom, but most of them are getting ready for the shows, I'd say. The spring shows or summer shows. Or, of course, they ship a lot during the holidays, so be sure to get your order in if you see something here you like. That's really pretty. Dark blue, purple blue. That's also a Mainshow hybrid. And then these are plugs or seedlings. See, they have, let's see how many trays. I think each tray has about 100 plants, and they probably have 30 trays, 30 to 40 trays per row on these double-sided benches. And so you see that adds up. Thousands and thousands of plants are just growing here. And then a variety of different ones. I think this greenhouse is a bit darker than some of the other ones. And so they can control that to some degree based on the shading, of course, from other trees, and then the shading of the roof. So here they have thousands of plants per row based on having 100 in each plug tray, and then 20 to 40 trays per row. These are Cattleyas here. So here's Amazing Thailand. You see that a lot in the shows. These are growing pretty well, so they may be ready to move up to the next stage. And so I know their process, they do send out their seed pods and then get back to flask, and then they also do maricloning. Here's another one of the novelty phals. So it's really pretty. And so I'm not sure you can buy them from here. Maybe, of course, the Phalaenopsis they have in the front, and some of the other tropical plants you can. But I think these are mainly set up for the next round of flowering or sale as 3-inch or 4-inch, 6-inch pots. Here's some Cymbidiums. These are not yet in bloom. So I'd like to get some of these. I don't know if they would handle the heat in South Florida. I'm certainly interested in those flowers, especially the ones that look like baby birds. Here's another pretty blue novelty phal. And so you can see all the plants that are getting ready for their shows in the next year. I mean, obviously these plants take 3 to 5 years or more to bloom, so they have to program their stock with that in mind. So here's the greenhouse on the other side of their showroom. This is definitely a brighter greenhouse with more mature plants. This has a lot of the Cattleyas that are pretty much at blooming stage or soon to be blooming. Here's the one we saw before. I really like this color. That might be something that I would get in the future for sure. Very healthy strap-like leaves. So you just pull the tag. I think that is the one that we saw inside. Yeah, I like that because it has that purplish lip against the rust-colored petals and sepals, and nice star shape. It's really gorgeous. And moving along, there's another, wow, that's a bright yellow Cattleya. Don't know what the name, I don't know. Let me look for the tag. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, so that's from hybrid from Gold Coast. That's pretty nice. Another of the spotted Cattleyas. Let's see the name on that one. No name. Okay. But that's another for the collection, I think, so. Of the spotted with the purple lips. Here's one of my favorites. Again, a kind of tropical drink, flavored bloom. That we also saw, oh, that's the one they had up front, so that's really pretty. You should move this one up front. That's a really nice plant. All right, on this side we have, again, a lot of the Cattleyas that are coming along, growing up, getting ready for their sale. Wow, look at the seed pod on that. It's crazy. And this is definitely a brighter greenhouse than the other side. Let's see how it is in the summer when it's 95 degrees outside. All right, over on this side they have bulbophyllums. I like this one, a little fan-shaped flower. Some that we didn't see inside too, so that's nice. I think they are for sale as well. Wow, look at this one. That's something else. Here's another one with a fan-shaped bloom. And then we have, there's quite a few different ones here. I don't think I saw them inside. All right, we're back to our little strawberry colored Cattleya chiefberry. So they have more of them here. All right, so we're back inside. I think they just moved this rack full of Vandas. I really like this orange one. And then they have the purple one again. There's Julian, they're one of their hybridizers, taking flowers off. So they're probably doing that so the plant can rebloom. I'll let him do his work. Then we have this yellow one. That's pretty nice. Big full flower. Look how healthy that plant is. That might be on the list too. Let's see. All right, so we finished inside, and here are some of the vendor tents. I'm familiar with some of them, but not all of them. So let's go check them out. This is Paph Paradise, run by Dave Sorokowski and his wife. I visited their showroom in Northern California in September and had a good talk with him. He actually shares a space with Gold Country Orchids, who's next to them here, but he has a variety of different Paphiopedilums, and he does his own hybridization, so you get some really unique flowers. I posted quite a few of their orchids on my shorts, and I did pick up a couple different ones. One that hasn't yet bloomed for him, so I'm waiting to see how that is. But it's a yellow multifloral Paph, so we'll have to see. But his flowers are really pretty, and he's super nice. He actually gave a talk at this show about his breeding techniques. You can see his plants look really, really good. This is the one I ended up buying, so I'm interested to see how it turns out. So Gold Coast is actually also in Northern California. I walked through their nursery, but didn't know too much about them. Here's what they have available, and it's actually a pretty good deal. You get 3 plants on this side for $45. And I know my wife was looking at a few of them, so maybe we'll pick something up here. But that's a great price. And you can see they have a variety of different kinds of Cattleyas, many of them species. And so you can check out the different pictures. Not all of them, of course, are in bloom. These are kind of smaller plants at this stage. But certainly can grow them up and have success in generating blooms for these flowers. This one's super nice. I don't know if it's among their $45 group. I really like that one. Really pretty unusual color. And then on this side, these are even a better deal. This is 3 for $35. So again, a variety of different Cattleyas. I know that his hybrids are used as standard stock for some of the newer hybrids that are being developed. So be sure to check that out. And then Bredren, they're located in Florida on the West Coast. Let's check out what they have. Wow, this is really nice. I love these hanging flowers. Those are so beautiful. Let's see what that is. I haven't really seen this around in any of the shows, but it's really something. Look at how long that spike is. Wow, that's really crazy. And these other plants also have spikes coming. So let's check out what else they have inside. Let's check out this novelty fowl. Wow, so many flowers. And that pattern is crazy. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I understand the name. It's got some very interesting hieroglyphic type of patterning. So that's, look how many flowers. I can't believe that. And I'm assuming these are serial bloomers, so that's really cool. And very nice, healthy plants. Look how big the leaves are. It's really nice. Here's some other novelty fowls. That color is really nice. Kind of subtle beige with a lavender middle. That's super cool too. So let's see. Oh, okay. And then let's see what else they have here. So they do have a lot of pretty unique plants. And this one's going to keep blooming up above. They also have this really pretty, I don't know. For me, I don't have this, so I really haven't paid that much attention to the novelty fowls, but they're really pretty nice. And I think that's one of the things this show specializes in at this time of the year. So there's a tremendous selection. Okay, this is Oncidium. Actually, I saw this in the judging tent over at the Redlands Festival. They had one of these. It's really gorgeous. So it's kind of almost looks like a miniature daffodil sort of thing. And then this plant is crazy. I love that deep purple and white. It's an unusual combination for sure. I'm not familiar with this genera at all. And let's see, here's a classic Digbyana. But that's a really nice flower on that one. And then they do have some miniature Cattleya. That's cool. And there's the name. I think we saw Stippled Sunset inside, if I remember. So many flowers. And then there's this. This is very unusual too. Some spidery type of petals and sepals. Pretty crazy. Again, another genera that I'm not very familiar with, but that's got a very unique flower. And going up, we have another Cattleya. Again, my nice tropical colors, red and orange. So I don't know, which one would you buy? I have to put them on my list, but I don't have enough space to grow all of these. This one, this Cerulean color is really nice too. The lighter petals and sepals, and then the more intense lip and throat. That's another one for the list. And that has a lot of flowers per spike. That's really cool. And moving up, oh, here's more. So they have quite a few of those that are in bloom. Another one that's really nice. Look how many flowers, 2 spikes and a lot of flowers. And then we have, this is Yellowbird again. That one's it's a little bit darker than some of the other ones. And this is Moy, like that one too. So you can get those 3 and put them all together and have a nice collection. So they have more nice, very healthy plants, and they look like they're going to be loaded with flowers. Well, they are loaded with flowers, but you can see that they're very good bloomers. All right, so now we have more of the red and orange with, how many flowers are on that head? Maybe a dozen? And they have more. These are why not crosses. I like those three together too. That's really nice. Maybe add this one too. So what do you think? Have a collection of those as well? So pretty. And let's see what else they have. Oh, look at this one. Really nice encyclia. I like that large lip. Wow. It really stands out. Sometimes encyclia have very small lips. So that one's something. That's a species, so that's really nice. And here's some more why not crosses. It's a really cute yellow one. I have to tell my wife to put that one on her list. I like it because they will have a lot of flowers on their head. Over here we have this cross. Look at the spots on that. The dark magenta, maroon, on a yellow-orange background. That's cool. And then more of the yellow and purple Phalaenopsis. Different varieties of that color pattern. And let's see what else. More of that. So you have a good selection of those. And here we have, and then they have this Oncidium hybrid. This is really nice too, with that rust-colored flower spread out like that. Multiple flowers on the spikes. It's a super nice plant. How many spikes were there? 4. And coming over, we have another Cattleya flower. You know, some of the colors don't really show in this tent, but they are very intense, dark colors. And this is another beautiful Cattleya type. Let's see what we have here. Bredren's Calypso. Again, I think we saw something similar inside, but that purple throat really stands out on that one. And wow, this one's super dark. Again, you probably can't see it that well in the picture because of the tent. It's really surprising how many different orchids they have in this relatively small display area. But I don't know, something I really appreciate, seeing all of these different flowers that you don't always see at the other vendors. Here's a Dendrobium with kind of a comb. What's that? That toothbrush type of Dendrobium. And check this one out. Wow. Super unusual. It's a Dendrobium, but I don't think I've seen any like that before. Wow. It's not really the antelope type. All right, so this is Orquideas Del Valle's tent. I was next door over at Sunset Valley Orchids, and they were essentially sold out of almost everything. Fred Clark wasn't there. I guess he's in the judging. But I did talk to Jake from Krull-Smith, who's minding their tent, and he's very helpful. And then here they have, this group's from Colombia, so they have a lot of bag babies. They have quite a lot of species. I haven't actually bought these kind of plants, so I'm not a very good judge of what they have. But it looks like they have quite a different variety, and they have pictures on everything. Their pricing is listed on the pictures. They look very healthy, and they still have quite a few in stock, so that's good. It's not something I have a lot of experience with, so for sure, if I was collecting different species or different primary hybrids, this might be something I'll go for. And then now this is Miranda Orchids. Let's check out what they have. Again, it's mostly smaller plants, not in bloom, but they do have all of the tags that show what they have. And let's see how they got it set up. Again, a lot of species. They look pretty good. The plants look pretty good, but it would take a couple years probably for them to bloom. But yeah, they have a lot. So depending on what you're looking for, this might be a very good place to buy. Not too expensive for the most part. So it's something I'd probably look at once I get rid of some of the plants that we have. I don't have a lot of space, but it would be interesting to start growing some of these species and see how they do in South Florida. I have to do my research to see which ones would adapt well to our heat during the summer. Essentially, I could take care of the watering and move them inside in the winter. But if they need a big cool down, I'd also have to figure out if they would work for that situation. They do have some nice red and yellow plants as well. That's nice. Some of the tags look very beautiful. Let's see. I don't know if I could get these to grow up. Then we have Afri Orchids. So these are orchids from South Africa and Madagascar. So they have this picture with all the different flowers that they have. Again, these are all, for the most part, are bag babies. They do have some that are mounted. And you can see here, some of them are varieties that we have. Many of them are not. Very typical of Florida. So if you want to try something new, certainly check out their website. And if they're back at Krull-Smith, go and check out their tent. They have a lot of different available flowers. I think for the most part, these are species. You can see they have a lot of roots. Some of them are really pretty big plants. And it looks like they have been selling some varieties out pretty well. Again, it's something I'm not going to look for right now, but maybe in the future, it's something that I would look into. Since I don't really buy a lot, since I have fairly limited space, I'm just kind of showing you what they have. And if you're seeing them at a show, you can, or ordering online, potentially you can have them ship you the orchids that you see here. Some of these colors are really nice on the photos. Some of them do have inflorescence on the plants that they're selling. So not everything is just a bare root without any flowers. There are quite a few. I'm just not going to reach over and try to show you what the blooms look like. And the pricing is, it's reasonable. So that's what they have. So I got a call. I have to go and meet my wife. This is OFE's, a very good vendor of supplies in South Florida, down in the Homestead area. All right, so this is Krull-Smith's back garden area. They have a lot of these impatiens. Let's check out this little path. This is where you get away from the crowds and relax. Although this show hasn't been super crowded, so maybe the cooler weather dissuaded some people from coming. This is pretty nice. I like all these bromeliads. And check out that little pond. Pretty green. Then they have this pavilion next door. I guess they have parties or shows over there sometimes. Here's a little area with their flowers. I need to buy some of these flowers for our front walkway, but that's coming up. All right, so here's another area with the vendors. This is Tropiflora. They have a lot of different air plants and bromeliads. Wow, look at all this selection. And they're not too expensive. They also have it set up in different formats, in little figurines. Wow, check out that monkey. So they have a big selection of different air plants that you could get these and put them with your orchids or have them on their own. We actually have one type that's in our bougainvillea that's just going crazy. So I picked out a lot of them and just got rid of it because it was getting too much. But these are really pretty. I've seen a whole collection of these in the Fairchild Tropical Garden, and they do look really nice in their own setting. So that's something to consider. They're really cool. And then they have a lot of different bromeliads. So there's more on this side, more succulents, and more ways to design these things in some kind of display, whether it's mounted or on their own. So this is kind of a break from the orchids, but these are very popular plants. Check out all of these different formats that they have these in. It'd be a great gift for people that like this kind of setting. Actually, some of my cousins, when they come down to Florida, they really like these things. And, you know, they basically don't require much care at all, to be honest. All right, so we'll continue to tour some of the vendors in the greenhouse. This is Greenhouse James. I heard that they named the greenhouses after some of their best employees. This is Blue Ridge Orchids from North Carolina. From what I recall, he specializes in breeding the novelty Phalaenopsis orchids. But you can see what he has here. Some Paphs. And here are the Phalaenopsis. So he has a few. I think he actually talked in the meeting. He mentioned that he doesn't, this is not his full-time job, but basically his hobby that's gotten traction. And over here we have Afri Orchids. I think they're located in Orlando. Looks like they have some beautiful Cattleyas. It's really pretty. Let's see the tag. So I'm assuming they import these and then grow them and have them available.
And that's the last one on that one I have left. I can do 40. I sold tons on this today. That's pretty cool.
How beautiful is this one? Wow. That's the one. I think we saw that inside too. Again, that's some of my favorite colors. And then over here is Florida Orchid House. I see them in a lot of the shows, and they always have really nice flowers. I think they're located in the Sarasota area. So here's really pretty Vanda. And they have more. So check out all of these beautiful Vandas that they have. And this is a good time for Vandas to be blooming. They have a nice collection, including some yellow ones. So I think we'll see what they have. She mentioned the ones with the bags on them have already been sold. So you have to figure out which ones don't have a bag or a ribbon tied to it. In these shows, they have a whole display of these Vandas along a wall. Sometimes the wall is all red, so it really sets it out. And these are very healthy. You can see the roots are just crazy. Well, I really like this one with the striped orange petals up above. There's a yellow one, has a bag. So then they have a variety of other orchids on this side. Some Cattleyas, Dendrobiums, really pretty plants. I saw them just recently in the Redlands and they had a similar selection, so they just keep going and going in these shows. And then let's see what else they have. More Dendrobiums, Oncidiums, Tolumnias, which is something I'm probably going to get. Starting a small collection based on what I saw that they had at the Fairchild Garden Show, where they had a whole wall of Tolumnias. So I'm going to try to steal their idea. This is a very unusual one. I haven't seen this plant before. Got a pretty unusual name. Based on the tag, I think this is from Brazil. And check out this one. Another beautiful Cerulean Cattleya. And they have several of those, and then a variety of other mounted plants. This one, wow, the spidery type of petals. All right, now we're at Springwater Orchids. I know at the Tamiami show they had a lot of paths, so they do have some of those here, as well as a variety of different orchids too. They have quite a lot of different Cattleyas here. How beautiful is that red? That is something else. Just solid color. There's a nice Vanda. That's really cute too. Has that flaring. Check out this little one. Wow, it's really pretty. And another yellow. Lots of blooming plants. They're not just the sample plants. We have bulbophyllums. And here's more. We check out these Florida natives, because I got a few of those from the Fairchild. I haven't seen this one. Wow, this is really gorgeous. This cascade of light purple flowers. That's not the right tag. Let me see where it is. There it is. So that's something I might think about. And then up above they have the Encyclia tampensis, although not the time for flowering for that. And then here are all their paths. Again, a large selection, different types, including the multifloral types. Really beautiful. And so, if you're looking for these, this might be something to look for.
Okay, so while you're doing that, let me tell you the story.
Check out this one. Wow.
The story is I have a boy.
That's crazy.
And that kid would never help me anything. So when it was 14, I dragged his butt to...
It's a little bit weird. Here's another really striking one. Yeah, I like that. The pattern is nuts. All right, so now we're at Mainshow, where they do have a lot of bag babies, but again, lots of different Paphiopedilums. You can see the pricing. Some of them are a few $100s and some of them are $30. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And they also have phals in bottles, novelty phals, and then so in the bags. So again, they have a fairly good selection. I know they're used in a lot of the hybrids. So if you're collecting these, this is again a nice place to shop for them. They all look very healthy. Many of them have blooms. Pricing is reasonable, $30. And so you can pick those up at Mainshow. This is Ching Hua Orchids. I think both he and Mainshow are from Taiwan, so they have a lot of bag babies too. And so again, you can see they have a lot of Cattleya species. Check these out. And pretty big plants. I think they're quite healthy. Check out this one. Wow. That's a really interesting bloom. A really pretty snow species. And then they have more Cattleya hybrids. Quite a lot of selection still. Lots of plants available. And he's currently setting up more. So again, if you see them at the show, support them. They bring all these plants from overseas, and then they are able to sell them at a reasonable price. And you can see they have quite a few of them have blooms, so it's not like you're buying something that you don't know what the flower will look like. I'm sure most of these are clones. This one's pretty nice. I like this. Again, my color scheme is more towards the warmer colors, and so that's what they have. Also, some different phals. Check out that one. It's like half and half. It's really cool.
Does it really?
All right, so this is Wilson Orchids. I think he does go to a number of the shows, not just this. Here he has a lot of different Phalaenopsis and Cattleyas. Really pretty flowers. And I think he's well known for having very good quality plants. Again, I think they come from Taiwan as well. Check out that one he just put out. All right, so that wraps up all the vendors that I saw. Just take a little walk through the greenhouse. I haven't been here before where this was all open, so it's good to check it out. Look how many plants they have. They have thousands of them. So they do, Krull-Smith does attend most of the shows I've seen in South Florida throughout the spring, and they have their own open house on a number of shows themselves, including this one and one in this winter, and I think one in the spring, sales in July. So not only do they go to the shows, they have their own nursery open house, but they ship a lot, of course. And so it's good to see what they have, what they have online. Check out these Dendrobiums. Wow, those are huge. So in addition to these greenhouses, I think they have one that's just for Vandas, and then their stud house where they do the breeding. I don't think those are open to the public this time, but you can see what they have. Wow, this is really pretty. This is probably set aside by somebody, but how pretty is that? Wow. So these are the more mature Cattleyas. I know they do a lot of, obviously they do a lot of hybridization, but I think they also, from what Jake was saying, they do a lot of cloning that they send out. They send out seed pods for sowing the seeds, and then get back the flasks and then pot them up in those plug trays that were in the other greenhouse, and then obviously transfer them until they're the appropriate size for sale. So they do have plants that are smaller plants that they sell, as well as the ones that are blooming size, and then in the shows and such, the blooming plants. So you check out their website. They do have a large variety of different plants sizes that they sell. And so you can see that some of these are probably going to be sold over the next few months for sure. So this is this greenhouse. They have this whole bench full of these Vanda-like flowers. I have to go down there and check them out a little bit more. But this seems like it's just like a display. All right, so here's the other greenhouse, Jim. This is the one closer to the showroom. And again, they have a lot of the more mature plants here, ready for the shows and for shipping. And really, it's kind of crazy. They have so many plants. And some of their specialties, of course, they have year-round, and including blooming plants that they have on display at the shows. Maybe that was a sample that you'll see. But really, it's incredible how many plants they have in these greenhouses. This is pretty cool. And of course, all the varieties, so like Vandas, Cattleyas, the Bulbophyllums that they had inside, the Phalaenopsis, and their Catasetums, and then also the tropical plants that they have. You know, it's not as big as some of the tropical nurseries in South Florida that really specialize in those, but for the box stores and such. But they have their fair share for sure. And this is only a part of what they have. I know in other videos I've seen, they have similar setups. Even they have a collection of cacti, private collection that they have, succulents. So that kind of wraps up what they have in this show. This video is getting kind of long, so we're going to head over to Orchids in Bloom, but maybe won't include that in this video. But this is just incredible how many plants they have. So I just wanted to wrap it up showing this, again, this area in the other greenhouse where they have all these Vandas. You can see they're growing through the bench, and they're all in holy pots. So I'm not sure these are for sale or this is just something they have for breeding, but it's pretty cool, all these different varieties. You can't even move these plants because the roots are buried in the bench, essentially. But it is really nice to see all these different things at once. Kind of like your summer wildflower garden, where you have all these different flowers, very fragrant flowers in some cases. all in one place. So Vandas are really pretty nice for this kind of setup, and they do well in the bright light. They have it pretty nicely set up. I certainly couldn't do this at home. This would be just too much, but I will live through this vicariously and enjoy how they have this all set up with all these beautiful plants. So with that, hope you enjoyed this video. Continue probably with another video from Orchids in Bloom, but from what you can see here, you probably can set up your Christmas list to see what you want to buy from Krull-Smith. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and see you on the next one.
All right, there it is.